Hey there Chameleons, it's Camille and today I'm back with a hair tutorial on this hair look. As you can see, it's very fiery and I have like a burst of yellow and orange and it has like darker reds and a little bit of pink in there. And it took so much to get my hair like this because I was going from a purple and darker shades and I had to do the roots and I had to fade it and everything, and I was doing it in the most healthy way for my hair without having to use bleach on the hair that I already had bleached before. So you can watch me go through this entire process and I'll show you guys how I changed my hair in the most healthy way possible and some new products that I just tried out for the first time in this video that I absolutely love. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram if you guys want to be updated constantly with the new hair and the new looks that I'm trying out. My username is OffbeatLook, just as it is on this channel. I love you guys so much and I hope you guys enjoy the tutorial.
This video is actually a collaboration with the oh so adorable Sebastian, who is showing you how to dye his hair silver in his video, which is linked down below, or you could click on the annotation on the screen and we'll open it up into another link so you can watch both of our videos. And don't forget to check out all the other videos on his channel and subscribe because his channel is so entertaining. Tell him I sent you, and don't forget to show him some love in the comments. Anyways, on to the tutorial. This is how crazy my hair was with all these long freaking roots and purple hair. It had some purple, some blue. You saw the last tutorial. If you didn't, go watch it. I'm stripping out my color with the vitamin C method, as you've probably seen me do before. I'm taking these vitamin C capsules that are like kind of powdery, putting it into this plastic bag to mash it up, man. And I'm taking my favorite sledgehammer, the one that you should keep in your bathroom, just because you need to fade out your hair and you need to mash it up with a sledgehammer, obviously. So I'm just using the side of the sledgehammer to crush the pills. If you get the vitamin C that's already powdered, then you can skip this step, but why would you want to skip this step? This is the fun part. Just keep squishing it and you can rock it back and forth after you crush it into smaller pieces, so it's easier to grind into a fine powder. Some people actually have one of those pill grinder things that have like a bowl and you can easily crush it that way, but I just have my sledgehammer, so that's what I use to crush my pills. Then I mixed it with my Equate dandruff shampoo, and that's just a really stripping shampoo for removing hair color, so it's a good thing to mix with your vitamin C. I use my fingers because it's better than using a brush. Like, I don't really know why anyone would use a brush for this, unless you have straight hair, I guess. But curls are kind of anti-brush when it comes to, well, any type of brush really. So just put that on your hands, and you only need to apply that to the part of your hair that you're trying to remove the color, because it is drying and it will like strip away the color. It's not going to do anything to your roots. There's really no point in like trying to rub it into your roots. So just focus on the areas that you're trying to get the color out. And you can roll it in between your hands like this to kind of just draw out more dye, because the more abrasion you use, the more it will come out. This method is better than bleaching your hair because it has less harsh chemicals, so I like to use this first before doing anything crazy like that. And I'm just putting my hair up in a bun and wrapping that in a bag so I can let it sit on my head and just marinate and do its thing. And I just wait like an hour, and feel free to get weird with it. Then you take off the bag and you'll see that after you wash it out, my hair is lighter and it's kind of more transparent. This is the next day, but there's still dye in it. So I'm trying the method where you use a demi-permanent clear dye to get out semi-permanent dyes. I've seen this on Guy Ting's channel and other hair dye channels. I know other hair dye experts have used this and it has successfully removed some semi-permanent hair dye. So I'm doing that, and I'm using my reusable gloves that I showed in my haul video of new hair products, which I actually broke after like 40 minutes because my nails were so sharp. I'm using some Olaplex too, so I'm filling that up to the 1/4 mark, and I'm mixing that in with my dye. I'm using a 20 volume, which is just half 10 and half 30 because I didn't have 20. But you mix that together half and half and it makes 20 volume because I only want to use 10 volume. Now to do the math, Olaplex brings it down by 10, so I put in 10 plus 30 to equal 20 to bring it down to 10 with the Olaplex. Confusing, but just use 20 volume and Olaplex will bring it down to 10. So this is just pretty much going to strip out the dye that you have in your hair. And it's, yeah, that simple. That's not simple. I'm sorry, math. But anyways, I had that in my hair for the amount of time it sat on the box. I washed it out and my hair looked exactly the same. I didn't find that this method worked with my hair, even though I've seen it happen on the internet, but I guess all hair is different. Anyways, I moved on and I used coconut oil in my hair to get it ready for the bleaching process. So I'm just massaging that into my hands to warm it up so it can go to more of a liquid consistency. And I'm putting that all over my roots. Now I'm using this new Sensitive Scalp Protector by Brilliance. I actually don't know if it's new to me, but this is just to make your scalp not burn when you bleach it. So I'm putting a little bit of this directly onto my scalp, which it says in the instructions you can either do that or mix it with your bleach. But for now, I'm just trying to massage that right onto my scalp to save it from a little bit of the harsh bleach chemicals that I don't like the feeling of. Now I'm parting my hair into quadrants, so I'm using my fishtail comb type thing on the end of my brush to part it down the middle, vertically, and then down the middle horizontally. And as you can see, curly hair is a struggle when you're trying to part it. Like, it actually takes a lot of time to do that. But after you get your hair into 4 sections, you're gonna try and make little buns or like tie your hair up in some way to just get out of your face and out of the other sections. So I don't know, I kind of think this looks a little bit cool. Tell me if I'm wrong. Don't tell me if I'm wrong. I like it. Anyways, the back 2 sections are going to be bleached first because that part doesn't bleach as fast as the front 2 sections. Ask me, I don't know why. I'm using 40 volume, but before you yell at me, remember that Olaplex brings it down by 10. So I'm going to mix that all together, mix the bleach, the Olaplex, the 40 vol, which turns to 30 vol, and then I'm going to apply that onto my roots after it's all mixed up. I'm using my fingers to do this because it's the back of my head and it's just so much easier to feel that way when I'm not getting help from someone, and it's kind of hard to use mirrors to really see the back of your head anyways. I just like feeling my hair. It's a lot easier than using a brush too because you can kind of get in there better, especially with curly hair, which is really annoying to bleach. Trust me, it's my least favorite part of having hair. But I go and do that in the back 2 quadrants first, and then I work my way to the front. And this front part bleaches faster, so that's why you want to have it on the back for a little bit longer. Especially the very, very front part of your hair, like the part that frames your face, that stuff bleaches mad fast, so you can do that part last. I put my little bag on my head and just let the heat process this for however long it says on the package. I wash it out and I get this golden color. I use step 2 of Olaplex, which you're supposed to apply after rinsing but not shampooing, and I pretty much just rub that into my hair, as it says, just the roots. This stuff's mad expensive, don't waste it. And then I just let it sit on my head for however long it says on the package. I think it was like 10 minutes. And then I rinse that out and then put in my conditioner all over my hair just because it's been through some stuff. Put in that coconut oil again to help prevent bleach damage. And you warm it up on your hands like this, it turns oily. I'm putting that on my roots because I'm going to be bleaching the roots a second time. But I put this on one night and then I bleach my roots the next day so they have a day to recover. And I'm just gonna run some conditioner through the rest of my hair just to hydrate it, so tomorrow when I'm going to be rinsing my hair again, it's not just being rinsed and rinsed without any conditioning. So here is what my hair looks like after it's dried. And you can see that it has some weird banding because of the overlap. But I'm going to bleach again. I'm using the Sensitive Scalp Protector by Brilliance. Mixed the whole thing into the bleach this time and applied it all over my head using the same process that I used before that I showed you. This is what it looks like when it's on my head. It's blue. The bleach is blue because blue is the opposite of orange on the color wheel, and that helps balance out those orangey tones. And then I rinsed out my hair, and this is what it ended up looking like. I used step 2 again, which is just helping rebuild the bonds of your hair. Oh, who is that girl? Weird. Anyways, you put that on, leave it on for like 10 minutes, and then it's going to help your hair stay strong after bleaching it, which is very important, especially with curly hair. Don't want to lose those curls. Now I'm doing the same vitamin C treatment again to the rest of my purple hair because I want to fade this out as much as possible without using bleach so I can dye over it. And I'm not going to get all of the purple out, but it's fine because I'm using a darker color on the ends over the purple, so I really don't feel like using bleach and ruining my hair when it's going to be able to disguise that part. This is also a new product for me. It's the Neutral Protein Filler. This just pretty much fills the proteins in your hair so that when you're bleaching or toning or whatever you're doing, you can even use it straight, which is what I'm doing right now. And it's a very watery consistency. It pretty much just fills in the proteins in your hair that you will have lost from processing your hair so much. And I like to use protein treatments, but I thought this would be cool because it's like more of a concentrated thing. So that's why I put it all over my hair. I just let that sit in my hair for a long amount of time. I saturated it, which was pretty easy to do once I decided to just dunk my hair into the bowl. And this stuff smells kind of weird, but it's definitely not the worst smelling product that I've ever used, trust me. So I massaged that into my hair. I let the protein fill in the gaps. I left it on for like, I don't know, an hour or so, rinsed it off, came back the next day, and this is what my hair looked like. Now I'm gonna tone it, and I'm using Blonde Brilliance toner, which was also my first time using this because I was unsatisfied with the toner that I've used before. I don't know why it has like pink parts to it, but this was all from one tube, which is sort of strange. I'm using Developer from the same brand, and it's only 5 volume because that's all you need with this toner, which is not going to damage your hair. It actually has some nice oils in there too, so it's pretty good for your hair. And I got the Developer for free because it was like buy one get one at Sally's, so I just bought a bunch of them and got a bunch of free toner. But I also apply this with my hands. I'm applying this to all of the brassy tones at my roots, not through the rest of the hair because that doesn't need to be toned, just at the parts that need the process, and I leave it on according to directions, and then it starts looking like this. And then as you see, it gets ashier. It takes out those weird brassy colors and it turns more of like a blonde with like grayer blonde. The really white parts turn to like silver, but of course silver washes out. And I can't just say the name of this anymore, but it's Manic Panic in the shade, which is a yellow dye that I've used a bunch before, and it's really goopy. It looks like this, has a nice texture for spreading with your fingers, which of course I use because it's so much easier to control than using gloves, and I really like when my hands get stained, those pretty colors, and it's just beautiful. Beautiful hair, beautiful hands. If you don't want stains on your hands, then go ahead and wear gloves, but this stuff is vegan, it's friendly, it's like made out of vegetables or whatever, so it's not gonna hurt you. You should always wear gloves when you bleach or tone though, because that's some dangerous chemicals, and if you wanna keep your hands, girl, you gotta protect those. But I'm just going around and picking different sections of my hair and just putting the yellow on the lighter parts, just the roots, so I can have a nice bursting kind of effect. I want it to be lighter at the roots and then burst into like a flaming kind of red towards the ends. Also, the roots are light enough for me to put the yellow on. Now I'm using Arctic Fox's Sunset Orange dye. Also at my roots, I'm doing the same thing that I did with the yellow. I'm putting it on with my fingers and just picking different sections across a whole bunch of different sections of my hair next to the yellow. It has such a pretty color. And I'm using this before I fade into red at the bottom sections of my hair, just to give it that kind of bursting kind of color. When you're doing this, you want to make sure that you get all the way down to the root, or else there'll be a weird like blondish gap, and that just does not look good. And you want to coat both sides of the hair. Just make sure everything is really saturated when you're using your hand. Even if you use a brush, whatever you use, make sure your hair is super saturated so you really get the color in there. Next, I'm using Wrath by Arctic Fox, which is just this kind of pinkish, bright magenta. Not magenta, it's pink. It's a bright pink. It's fuchsia. It's magenta ink. Tell me what it is in the comments down below. It's neon pink. When it washes out, it looks a little bit brighter than this. Anyways, using the same technique, my hands, I'm doing like half of the hair sections, making sure that it's easily fadeable into red. Now I'm just going over parts with more yellow because I want it to be a little bit brighter, and just because I know that the yellow is going to get bled on by the other colors. Now I'm going in with the orange. Where's that girl coming from? Anyways, I'm going in with the orange and putting that on the bottom sections of some of my hair. So I fade the yellow to the orange. You make sure you blend that, or else it's gonna look kind of stripy and weird. So then I twist the sections in the back. So then when I feel the back of my head, I'll just know that that part has already been dyed. I'm doing the same thing with the pink dye. I'll fade the orange to the pink. And now I'm using a red dye for Manic Panic. And I'm using this to fade the bottom of some of the yellow sections and some of the orange sections, So you can see that it's going like orange to red, yellow to orange, that kind of thing. So this is what my hair looks after I've coated all the tops and the bottom sections, and I've kind of twisted some of them just to keep them out of my way and so I know that it's coated. The top part is a lot brighter and lighter. The bottom part is pretty much red and with a little bit of pink and orange. And you can see that in the end, that's what my hair ended up looking like, which I thought was so cool. It's like bursting out of my head and like kind of flaming, like I'm the gal on fire, kind of. And it just made me really happy, especially in the winter. I needed some color in my life. I hope you guys liked this look, and don't forget to watch Sebastian's video. He has a really great tutorial on how he dyed his hair silver. Subscribe to his channel, send him some love. And if you guys like this video, please subscribe. I'm trying to post weekly nowadays. I always post on Instagram, so don't forget to follow me on there. And comment down below telling me what you think. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you chameleons in the next video. Kisses. Mwah.